Hi, I'm Mr. Sam, the allotment man, and this is my allotment. So here we are, it's Mr. Sam the allotment man, and we're going to have a look around the allotment. Hold tight, let's go. So here we are with the potatoes. These are the earlies, and look, they're flowering. It's looking great, and I hope we're going to get some crops really soon. I think we've got to wait for the flowers to die, and then we can start digging things up. So here are the potatoes. It's all looking great. Let's have a look around a little bit more. Let's go and have a look at the lates. So here are my late potatoes, otherwise known as the main crop. My main crop is actually smaller than the early crop. I don't know if you realise it, it's just that I've run out of potatoes. That's all, that's as technical as it gets. So I've bunged them in the ground, they're growing just like the others. It's all looking great, so we'll keep an eye on them. Let's have a look at the onions. Here are, guys and girls, my onions, and I think you'll agree they're looking rather marvellous. I've had to pick one because for some reason I had two onions in the same place and they split. I never planted two like that, but I think it's one of those things that just happens. So I took them home and we've eaten them in a quiche. Can you believe it? Brilliant. I've actually grown something and eaten it. I know this might not amaze some of you, but it amazed me. So yeah, the onions are coming on really well. Something to watch out for. I've already done it, but sometimes the onions, when they get a bit distressed, they start putting out like a seed pod at the top of the onions. You just pick them off apparently, and that sorts it all out. So it's probably because they're not getting enough water. So I need to water these onions. Apparently you can't water onions too much because they are basically water. So I suppose we're growing green water. I don't know. But there you are, onions looking really good, really pleased with them. Let's go and have a look at something else, okay? So here we are, something we haven't looked at before, and these are my courgettes. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 courgette plants. They're doing really well. I've got one already at home, so I've taken that already, and some more are already growing really quickly, so it's quite impressive. So these are my courgette plants, and there's a bird scarer. There you are, courgettes. Well, here you go, guys, we're getting up close. This is a raspberry bush. Oh yes, indeed. Only a few weeks ago it was a mere stick, but now look at it. We have got fruit being protected by the bird scarer. I'm not sure if the birds eat this or not, but I'm convinced the bird scarer is working. So there you are. So this is my raspberry bush. I've got a few more, but I'm not going to show you them because it's just boring. It's the same thing over and over. So there you are, raspberries, doing well. Eee. So here we are in the greenhouse, and we've got our tomato plants, and they're doing very well indeed, I might like to say. Yes, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 tomato plants, and they're all doing great. Remember what the allotment god told us a few weeks ago? I've been practicing it, so I've been pinching out all my suckers and making sure that you know, nothing too untoward grows that it shouldn't do. And we're actually getting some tomatoes. These 4 are cherry tomatoes, and that one's like a normal regular tomato, or for our friends over the pond, tomato. No, tomato, that's better. So we'll give you a little close-up of what's going on. I think you'll agree that some of these tomatoes look great, and also the dripper system is working, although we are in a hard water area, so I do sometimes find that it silts up a little bit, but for free, who's counting? So here we are, tomatoes. And of course on the other side of the greenhouse we've got our peppers, and they're starting to come along rather well. Dripper system doing its job. I planted some things in here, forgot to water them, so let's not talk about it. A bit tragic really. So there we are, but my pepper plants are going really well. I'm actually getting some flowers as well on there, so I think I should be getting some fruit soon. So pepper plants going really well. Red, yellow, green, well, I don't know what they are. To be honest, I think peppers, tell me if I'm wrong, one pepper plant will do red, yellow and green depending on how mature the pepper is. that might be wrong. Tell me, please, because I don't really know. So here we are, my pepper plants. So everything in the greenhouse is working really well. Let's go and have a look around there. Right, so here we are, guys, at the runner bean post. As you can see, it does get a little bit windy around here, but the runner beans seem to be holding up really nicely. I did have a few that were gone a bit wayward and straggly, so I've just taken the bean stalks, I think they're stalks, I don't know what they're called, but anyway, I've taken these and weaved them back into the net so they know where they're going. There's some red flowers coming up, so I'm presuming that's where the beans sprout from, so we'll be keeping an eye on them. So that's really good. Flowers, I don't know what they're doing, they're just coming up. There's no flowers yet, there's just green stuff. So we'll keep an eye on them. Not really that interested, to be honest, but flowers are there, weeds are down there, lots of them. Hate them, to be honest. Weeds. I tell you what, right, if they took the gene that is in a weed, okay, that makes it grow overnight, why didn't they just put it in everything else that we want to grow? Because everything else that we want to grow takes weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. Weed, all it has to do is rain and a bit of sunshine and it's out like I don't know what. But anyway, rant over. Runner beans, brilliant. Let's get on with it. So here we are back at my pile of wood. It's still a pile of wood. I haven't done very much with my wood pile. Hope to do something very soon with it because I've collected a few more bits of wood to put on my pile. And once my pile of wood is a little bit more piley, I shall then make it into something. I'll keep you posted on it. A few of you have sent me your piles of wood. Some of them were a little bit indecent, so I haven't shown them today. So let's move on and have a look at, ooh, sweet corn. So here we are at the sweet corn. Hang on, it's gone. Well, half of it's gone and half of it's still here. My sweet corn had a little bit of a problem because this is the sweet corn I grew from seed from B&Q. The other sweet corn that was here was given to me and I wasn't sure if they were the same variety. The Mr. Allotment God, Paul, told me if you keep them together and they're not the same variety, you'll end up with very bitter and foul tasting sweet corn. So what I've done, I've transplanted it over to the other side, quite a distance away, so hopefully they won't cross-pollinate. But I think this lot's doing really well. We've got sort of like corn type things coming out of it. I don't know if really that's what it's supposed to do, but something's happening and it's really exciting. So there's our corn on the cob, or sweet corn, whatever you're going to call it. So there you are, sweet corn, it's going well, as everything is going well. Sorry to repeat myself. Sweet corn, hey! So here we are at my brassicas. Yes, they're all netted off and they're all being protected really well. So I've got my cauliflower here, and at the back there, Brussels sprouts, and down here we've got some lettuce. And it's all going really well. There's nothing more to say about brassicas really, because let's be honest, they're a bit boring. So they are brassicas, nice. So here are my leeks. I've planted them out and they're looking really nice. Now, I don't know if you know this, but when you're planting leeks out, all you do is make a nice big hole with your dibber, all the way in. Then you just put your leek in, trim, what do you call it, the roots. They're the things at the other end, that's right. The roots, trim them down, pop them in and then water them in. Don't fill the earth back in, just water them in. It's called puddling in apparently, all right? And then that gives them a nice soft piece of earth to grow into, I think. And then you've got leeks when they're growing, and they're going to come out in the winter apparently. So there you are. There are my leeks. I hope you like them. Well, cheers, and thanks very much for coming around and having a look at my allotment. I hope you found it interesting. As you can see, everything's growing now, and I've even taken a couple of things home. My apple trees are doing well. I have taken the apples off them so the root system can grow this year, so I'll get a better crop next year. Courgettes are coming every day, so that's brilliant as well, and the tomatoes are looking good. Just a couple of things to say. Thank you very much to my friend Alan for helping me out with some of my title things, so that's great. A couple of people asked me what I edit in, and I do it in Final Cut Pro on a Mac. What else could I say? Oh yeah, quick hello to my friend Nagsy, who's just had a triple bypass operation and he's still off work. So stop skiving and we'll see you in a couple of months. Good boy. That's about it really. So enjoy your allotments as I'm enjoying mine, and happy growing.